It's time to get back to Comic Cons. Check out the COMiXcon ForeCast given to you by comicbookadvocates.com and in association with conventionscene.com as we give you all the amazing Comic Cons that are back that you can go to. So watch the show and plan your trips. Pack your bags and get ready to hit the COMiXcon highway. ComicBookAdvocates.com, where the love of comics comes first, gives you the Comic-Con forecast for week 35 off the Comic-Con highway. Conventions taking place and affected by COVID. DragonCon was affected by that, and they updated their protocols at dragoncon.org. J.R. Mounts heads to DragonCon and will be on the third floor exhibitor dealers tables 3506 to 3508 at the America's Mart. Also, Chris Hammer will be at the event as well. Heading over to Boston, we will have the Boston Fan Expo with Madeline Holly Rising from Boston Metaphysical Society fan. Dwayne Robinson Jr. will be at the Brooklyn Comic Con this Sunday at the Brooklyn Expo Center. Make sure to subscribe to our Twitter feed, Comic-Con ForeCast, and take a look at 2022 and start deciding where you want to go. I'm looking at GalaxyCon, Central Florida Comic-Con, Tampa Bay, and MegaCon from my list. And next week is Florida SuperCon, which will have me, Mike Seeley, and MD McDonald. We're all going to be there along with Chris Hammer. And make sure that you're telling me where you're going so I can talk about you like I do with John Crawford, who's going to be on September 11th in Ocala at a wrestling show. Let's go to conventionscene.com and check out what's going on. The 3rd through the 5th in Boston, Massachusetts, we'll have the Fan Expo. The 4th through the 5th has Long Beach Comic-Con. And the 4th through the 5th in Texas will have the Archalectic. And for you guys, don't forget to subscribe not only to the Twitter feed, but comicbookadvocates.com. And look at all the fun you can have at Comic-Cons. Just a quick look back. Happy Labor Day to everyone. Here is one of my favorite moments from this Comic-Con season when I got to get back to conning around. I have the power! I have the power! All right, and remember, next Tuesday, right before SuperCon, Cat Dad and Supermom make their way back to Kickstarter. See that mask right there? That's a representation of my son. That is a representation of becoming a better parent. That's a representation of trying to be, in many ways, a symbol of hope. Cat Dad is something I strive to be as a parent. And when we started on this journey for the second issue, we knew it had to be as powerful and as good as the first issue. The problem is, how do you do that? You don't. You stop and you just make a quality story. So if you never read the first book, that doesn't matter. This one stands alone. And it stands powerfully alone as it tells a tale about how dangerous it can be to meet your heroes and how much they can crush your heart. But there's a surprise. Not only in the dream world does something happen, but there's a visitor who sets heroics on the right path. Please join us for this second campaign and remember to rise against bullying. I'd rather just be honest with you. I'd rather be humble with you and tell you why I created the story. You see that little boy over my shoulder, right over there, and the other side, the Supermom, and the big elephant that farts? All of that is based on my boy. He's a special needs 5-year-old who I love with all my heart. And he has made me a better man and has taught me what unconditional love is. So if this story is about him, the standard had to be higher. And it is. And I'm really excited to bring it to you guys next week. So here we are. We made it to the fall, guys. We're here. Route 21's almost over, believe it or not. New York Comic Con still on deck. Baltimore Comic Con. SuperCon is just next week. Emerald City Comic Con and C2E2, to name a few. Also, we're going to be a guest at Sci-Fi Fan Fest, and you'll see us in September as well. Continuum Comics over in the Suncoast Fan Fest. So a lot's going on. Where the fall is going to be a little more busier than it normally is. So stay tuned as the Comic-Con ForeCast continues to bring you stuff. And by the way, just a quick thing for those of you who watch this long, from now on, we're going to be doing the exits representing the week of the year. So you guys know we're the COMiXcon ForeCast off the Comic-Con highway. So every highway, the highway is just this entire thing. The forecast, of course, is represented over the week. So that's how we're going to do it. From now on, the exit will be the week of that particular year. So example, this would have been exit 35 of 21. So, or exit 35 and then later 21. We'll figure it out. You know how we do. By the way, the voice you're listening to belongs to this guy. Mr. Anderson is the unboxable advocating creator known as the indie comics devil who will tempt you with his devilish tales of fetish, monsters, and more. He is the giver of free hugs on Spence, and he is a partner in Continual Comics. Check out everything Anderson at chainlinks.site. All right, guys, it's been a great summer. I'll see you in the fall. Happy